Hey everyone, I'm going to take a look at the new Player of the Week pack on eFootball. It's from the Club World Cup. We've got 5 boosters in this pack. I don't know if that's going to be the same moving forward or if it's just a special thing just for the Club World Cup. But yeah, 5 boosters in here. As always, I'll put timestamps in the description for each player. So if you want to hear about particular players, click on the description. There'll be a link to take you straight to them. And we'll start with the lowest rated as always. And that's a 4-star. I've got a 4-star this time. It is Jair Paula. I hope I said that right. So it's the first time I've had a feature version of this guy. And there's not much to say about it really. I've just given him the usual Player of the Week centre-back boost. Not much going on with the defences, but boost to his pace, his stamina, his passing. Yes, about it. He's got a face scan, build-up centre-back. One thing that is interesting about this guy, he's massive, 198 centimetres. So at first you think jumping 83 is not great, but 198 centimetres and all his skills are new, including aerial superiority. So this guy should be pretty strong in the air. Got heading as well, and we've got man marking, interception, blocker, fighting. He could do with maybe his acrobatic clearance, maybe sliding tackle, but he's got some very important ones there. If I was going to give him 6 skills for a centre back, those might be the first 6 I'll give him. Possibly acrobatic clearance though would be a good one. But yeah, got some good skills, but like I say, massive. He's got aerial superiority. He's only a 4-star centre back, but he's not too bad for a 4-star centre back to be fair. And like I say, that height, I know that does get factored into his overall rating, but that is a nice positive with this guy. He's got decent pace, especially for a big, tall guy. You're at least in +3 territory in all his defences there, so you're going to be up in the high 80s with your maximum game plan boost. Likewise, physical contact. So, yeah, this isn't an amazing centre-back card, but he is very tall. He should be quite strong in the air. Maybe he's not amazing with only 83 for jumping, but he is a very tall guy. And looking at money eFootball Hub. In fact, yeah, just checking eFootball Hub in the background now. His vertical reach is 282.1 centimeters, so he is good in the air. He's very strong in the air. So yeah, that's a big positive with this guy. Like I say, he's not amazing with the core defenses, the physical contact. It is only a 4-star card, but he's at least +3 on all those. I think for a 4-star centre back, this guy's really good. It's a shame for most people. Most people don't get to do the Brazilian League Challenge, but if you do still get the Brazilian League Challenge, or if you rock a Brazilian League squad in divisions at any point, this could be a really handy one to go in a Brazilian League squad. He could go in a Brazil team as well. Like I say, it's only a 4-star card. Some of these attributes are a bit on the low side, but I think on the whole, for a 4-star centre-back, this guy's not bad. I do occasionally use a Brazilian League squad. I do sometimes use a Brazil squad in the national team challenge. So if I get this guy, yes, it's only a 4-star centre-back, but I think not least for the fact he's got fantastic aerial ability, I'll be keeping hold of this guy. I think he's alright for a 4-star, to be honest. And next we have Iván Marcano from Porto. So another build-up centre-back. Not quite as tall as him. He's got a face scan, 189 centimetres. So he's got a pretty average height for a centre-back. Not amazing, but he's pretty solid centre-back on the whole. We've got a previous Player of the Week version of Marcano in a regular Player of the Week pack. Slightly different kind of profile, that one, in terms of the attributes, the way they're balanced out. A bit better primarily down the left column, that version, but just about everywhere else, this one's better. So on the whole, this one is better, especially the defensive engagement's loads higher. And in terms of the way they boost from his GP card, again, it's just the usual centre-back boost really in a Player of the Week pack. They boost his, the pace, stamina, and passing really. Physical contact as well actually has had a bit of a boost. And then skill-wise, they just added a few new ones here. They've added blocker, it's a great addition. Aerial superiority, likewise. Fighting experience, always a good one to have on any player, especially a centre-back. So yeah, heading and aerial, then man marking, interception, blocker, sliding, capacity, fighting. Acrobatic clearance, the only one you're really missing, like with the first dude. So yeah, pretty good selection on the whole skills. He's a pretty solid centre-back. The pace isn't too great, he's not the quickest, but it could be worse. Again, not amazing with the jumping and the physical, but you're at least +3. And down the middle, it's only the engagement. It's not going to get to the 90 mark, but it's not far off. They're all pretty decent, those defensive attributes. Passing is pretty nice for a centre-back. So yeah, left-footed build-up centre-back. Shame there's no league challenge to use them in. That's going to be a negative with a lot of cards in these Club World Cup packs. Hopefully there's going to be a bunch more of them. But yeah, it is a solid centre-back card. Nothing particularly bad about him, really. Maybe he's not too much overly exciting about him either, but maybe for a Spain squad could be handy for that. But yeah, on the whole, it's a solid centre-back. Just the one biggest negative is you can't use him in any league challenges, really. He's got left-back as well, actually, but I wouldn't use him there. He's too slow. He's not confident on the ball. So yeah, very much a centre-back. And it's a shame you can't use him in any league challenge, but maybe it's for a Spain squad. Maybe it's even for your main squad at a stretch. It's not a bad one at all. It's just not an amazing one, but it's definitely a very usable, very solid centre-back. Yeah, and we have our first booster. So we've got Óscar Ustari got a face scan. Let's just activate the booster straight away. Interesting. So we've got some good stats on this guy. 184 centimeters tall though. So stats looking good. Height not looking too great. Again, I'm just checking in the background what his arm coverage is, because that's pretty important. It's not great. 167.3. So there was a question mark over this guy's coverage. Yes, the reach is good, especially on A form when he gets the boost, but it's another one of his cards where you kind of balance out the stats against the kind of the physical profile and the coverage he's got. And it is certainly a good goalkeeper card, but it's not quite as amazing as the stats make him look like he is at first. We've actually had a previous version of Ustari. We had a version of him from the Mexican League in a Player of the Season pack a year or two ago. The overall rating of that one wasn't far away from this one, but if you look closely, the distribution was a lot better on that card, and a bunch of stats down the right, kicking power, jumping, physical contact, were quite a bit higher as well, and that's the main reason the overall rating is as close to this one as it is, because in terms of the core goalkeeping attributes, with or without the boost, this one's significantly better. So yeah, if you got that previous one, it is a solid enough goalie card, but it's not great compared to this one. This is a significant upgrade on the whole. They actually added a skill, penalty saving, because he saved the penalty, of course. Got low punt, long throw captaincy. There's plenty to be said for this card, to be honest. You know, none of those stats are bad down there. They're all at least decent. Some of them good. Most of them are good. Just not got the best coverage. And again, there's no lead challenge you can use them in. So that is a shame. Maybe if you ever rock an Argentine squad, I know a fair few people do, it could be a very handy option for your Argentine squad. Outside of that, I'd question what use you'd have for this guy, but you could, well, you know, you could certainly do a job in a main squad. It's just like I say, as good as those stats are, the coverage he's got, the slight lack of height, and the kind of, you know, the physical profile do drag him down a little bit. But it's not to say it's a bad card, just not quite as good as he looks at first glance with the stats, and obviously no lead challenge. But not to sound too negative, because it is certainly a pretty decent goalie card. Next up, we have Joaquín Piquerez. I hope I said that right. I should say it right, because I watched the game, so I probably heard his name pronounced a load of times, but still not sure. But yeah, box-to-box left midfielder this time. This guy is normally a left-back and attacking full-back. So they've made him a box-to-box. They've added left midfield. They've made that fully proficient. They've made left wing forward semi-proficient on a cardio position train. Excellent. He has a face scan. Unwavering form as well. Another card where there is a lead challenge you can use him in, but most people don't get the Brazilian League Challenge anymore, unfortunately. So if you do get that Brazilian League Challenge, could be a handy one to have with that. Otherwise, a slight lack of use for this guy. But yeah, it's a solid looking card. We've had one previous version of this guy. It's a highlight card, I think, from some kind of Showtime pack. Maybe a Brazilian League one. That was an attacking fullback, left back. The stats are kind of shuffled around a bit. Regardless of whether you try and train that card as a left back or if you make him into a left midfielder, the stats are kind of shuffled around a bit both ways. But I would say this card on the whole is a bit better in either position. If you compare him, looking at his GP card as a left back, we're boosted down the left column, acceleration, physical contact, but we've lost a bunch of stamina. As a left midfielder, if you make his GP card a left midfielder, we're pretty much boosted just about everywhere, really. So of course it's an upgrade from his GP card. Obviously the profile's a bit different, the way they've made him a left midfielder, but yeah, it's looking like a solid version of this guy, and like I say, slightly different profile to what he's normally got. Skill wise as well, we have got a couple of new skills. We've got a bunch of new skills actually. Wow. So he's normally got fighting spirit and blocker, and that's it. And now we've got a lot of skills. So one touch pass, through passing, weighted pass, pinpoint crossing, outside curler. So getting forward, bit of end product, nice. And then defensively, man marking, interception, blocker, fighting spirit. Really nice selection of skills on this guy. Yeah, skills looking great, unwavering form. For some people, got a Brazilian challenge to use him in, so lots of positives there. But in terms of the attributes, I think he's solid. I don't think he's amazing. I think if you're going to play this guy as a left midfield box to box, I don't think he's good enough on the ball. Dribbling is going to just about get to 80 with the game plan boost. Ball control and type possession, not great. Attacking with 74. I don't know about this guy as a left mid box to box, to be honest. I think he's probably more likely to be he's going to be more effective, I think, as a left back, his normal position. He's not amazing defensively. Tackling is the only attribute. It's not going to hit the 80 mark though, although that is an important one. As a left back, not quite as important how good you are on the ball, so you can get rid of those attributes a bit more there. Low and lofted both going over 80 with pinpoint crossing. Lofted will hit 85 with your maximum game plan boost. A bit of curl, decent kicking power. He should have a pretty decent cross on him, especially for a fullback. Low pass going over the 80 mark, and he does have one touch pass and through passing as well. He's got an outside curler. So yeah, the passing low and lofted on this guy should be pretty decent for a fullback. Very decent. And then on the right, pace, you know, I think most of us would like a little bit more acceleration maybe, but you're all right, I think, for pace. I think his pace is fine. Physical contact's pretty good at 84. Balance is a bit iffy. That's a shame. You want a bit more balance in the fullback, and the stamina's fine. The stamina's good. So, yeah, there are a few attributes there, a bit on the low side. Like I say, I mean, you could use him in both positions. I think as a left wing back, if you play him in left midfield in some kind of maybe a 3-4-3, 3-5-2, that kind of formation, he's kind of a wing back, and he's there mainly to defend. Then I think he can be pretty solid. But I do think on the ball there, those attributes just let him down a bit going forward as a real winger. I think he'd be better as a left back. We'll be playing there without an active playing style. One or two attributes are a bit on the low side, but there are plenty of decent ones, and he's got a really good selection of skills there. So yeah, this card's not a dud, but it's not the most exciting one. I think it's just a card really where if you've not been playing the game for too long, and you can do some more options for left back, left wing back, it could be a solid one to have, especially if you still get to do the Brazilian League Challenge. It could be a very handy one. And for the kind of positions he's got, especially left back. But there are negatives. Like I say, most people don't get to do the Brazilian League Challenge anymore. He's not outstanding as a left back, certainly. And as a left mid, I don't really fancy him. So it depends which way you look at him, really. For some people, it could be a pretty handy one, especially for the Brazilian League Challenge. But he's not going to be for everyone, this guy. And next up is Senny Mayulu. It's our first feature version of this guy. He's becoming quite the super sub. So he's normally an attacking midfielder, creative playmaker. They made him a centre forward, deep line forward. They've added centre forward and SS as fully proficient positions. If you compare him to his GP card, if you make his GP card an attacking midfielder, so if you go with a normal position of his GP card and auto allocation, we're not quite as good on the ball with this card, but just about everything else is better. If you train his GP card as a centre forward, this card is better just about everywhere except acceleration and balance. Obviously it's better than his GP card, but it does depend on where you're going to train his GP card for, what position and stuff. But yeah, it's certainly looking like a nice boost on this guy. But deep lying forward, passing is not great. Attacking awareness and finishing not great for centre forward. It's a question of what position he's going to be good in. He doesn't have a face scan yet. I'm sure we'll get one soon. He's very young, he's just coming through. He's a lefty. Very two-footed. That's always a nice bonus. Skill wise, they've taken away dipping shot. We've had a bunch of new skills added. We've got first time shot, we've got outside curler, super sub, of course, fighting spirit, no through passing. So we've got some good ones there. He's already got long range curler and first time shot. We've got heel trick and outside curler, very two-footed player as well, so he's going to be very comfortable on the ball. One touch pass, but no through passing, no. Super sub, yeah, loads of positives there, but without through passing, it's such an important skill in the deep line forward. Any kind of playmaker, deep line forward is kind of like a playmaker, just kind of, it's hard to describe a striker as a playmaker, but it's that kind of equivalent if you're playing up front. Obviously, the playmaker playing style is not active on a centre forward, so deep line forward is kind of the equivalent. He's going to drop, drop behind the attack and get involved in the build up. But when you're doing that, you want him to be able to play through passes. So it's a bit of a shame he's not got through passing. It's even one point if you're going to play him as an SS or especially an attack midfielder. There's no way I'd play this guy as an attack midfielder. 81 low pass, no through passing. As a striker, attack awareness 80, finishing 82. Yes, he's a deep line forward, but they're a bit low for me. Pretty tidy on the ball though, decent pace, good skills for a forward. So yeah, I don't know where he's best. Is this one of these cards where he's best kind of in between, the middle position, SS, the deep line forward playing style will be active. If he's an SS, the attack awareness and finishing are a lot more passable than they are at centre forward, and you can get away with the passing a lot more than you can as an attacking midfielder, but still issues in those areas. So yeah, it's a tidy enough card. I have a feeling he'll feel reasonable on the ball. The balance isn't amazing. He's not got a low centre of gravity by any means. I'm not sure about this guy. You've got some qualities, some decent attributes there. You've got some very good skills. Just I think the lack of through passing is the one thing that kills this card. If you had through passing, I think as an SS just behind the attack, it could be pretty effective. But like I say, I don't think awareness and finishing are really high enough, even for a deep line forward playing up front. Passing is a big question mark. Attacking mid as an SS, I think through passing still holds him back. But there are qualities. He's got a bit of pace, bit of kicking power behind his shots. He's decent enough on the ball. He could be a pretty tight one behind the attack. So yeah, I think for some people he could be a handy on this. He could like the look of him. Find he's quite nice on the ball. Depends on what kind of system you've got, attacking system and so on. If he fits in, you might find you quite like him. But for me, this isn't overly exciting. You see his 92 rate. He's only just a 5-star. It's not the most exciting card to me. and that lack of the through passing skill is the one thing I think that holds him back more than anything. Plus, again, you can't use him in any league challenges, was a big shame. Obviously, you can put him in your main squad, you can use him in a France squad, but yeah, lack of a league challenge is always a negative. So yeah, he's 1-2 negative with this guy. The lack of the through passing skill is the one thing for a player with this profile and this playing style that holds him back the most. But there are some qualities there. You might find he's a pretty handy one, but like I say, just looking at the attributes, looking at everything, it's not a card to me that looks that exciting. Yeah, next up we have Miguel Merentiel. So, got a face scan, goal puncher centre forward, that's what he normally is, no change to positions or playing style. It's the first time for the feature version of him. Weaker for accuracy, he's gone up by 1. So we've got our player of the week centre forward. We've lost 3 points of attacking awareness. Why? We've lost 5 points of balance. Why? Decent boost pretty much everywhere else though. So yeah, on the whole a decent boost. And he's looking like a decent card, not looking like an amazing one. Like I always say on a centre forward, 85 attacking awareness, 85 finishing. Bit iffy. You're at least in +3 territory, but mid-80s I'd want a bit more, especially to take a few points away from his attacking awareness compared to his GP card. Annoying, but he's pretty tidy on the ball for centre forward, very tidy. The passing, decent enough. We'll check his skills in a second. He's got a bit of pace. I'd like a little bit more for a goal poacher, but it's not too bad. I think he's got just about enough pace. Bit of kicking back behind his shots. A little bit of physical strength. Reasonable balance. I'd like a bit more though. Has been nerfed, like I say, 5 points we lost off that for some weird reason. Got unwavering form. Let's have a look at the skills. So yeah, one touch passing, through passing. His passing is decent for a centre forward. He's already got those skills. What have they added? They've added long range curler, big addition for a forward. Captaincy. You can tell from his picture that he was captain. Didn't see the game myself, unfortunately. It was on too late. What have they taken away? We've lost heel trick. Again, they do that a lot. Heel trick's a really nice skill. Can we not lose something like, I don't know. Well, actually, most of the skills are pretty good, to be fair. All right, fair enough. But again, I say the same thing. I always forget who it was that suggested it. Someone suggested it in the comments. Put the new skills in here. Just use that space where you can normally add skills on a highlight card. You can't add them on a trending card. So you just got this empty space here for 5 skills. Put the new skills there and leave all of the existing skills as they are. Very annoying they don't do that. But yeah, we've lost heel trick and we've lost penalty special. We can live without that though. But yeah, he's not the biggest striker, so we're not really expecting things like heading and aerial superiority, but certainly on the ground, soul control is a lovely one to have on a striker, any attacking player. Long range curler, acrobatic finishing, first time shot. We've got one touch and through, as I mentioned, so he's got fairly nice passing for centre forward. Outside curler's handy. Super sub always handy. Fighting spirit's a good one. Captaincy, I mean, I guess he was captain, so it is what it is. Not the most important one though, but yeah, there's quite a lot to be said for this guy. He looks pretty tidy. I don't know, he's kind of just an all-rounder really. He just looks like a decent all-rounder of a centre forward. He's got a bit of everything. There's no major weakness anywhere. Just I'd like a bit more on a few attributes. I'd like maybe a little bit more speed, a bit more awareness and finishing, a bit more balance. But outside of that, pretty tidy. He's got plenty of qualities, got some pretty good skills. It looks like he might feel pretty reasonable on the ball. Not an overly low centre of gravity, but he's not the biggest either. So yeah, I reckon he's going to feel alright in the ball. Pretty nippy. It could be pretty decent to get a few goals for you, but just like I say, a few attributes not quite as high as I like them to be. And again, there's no lead change you can use him in. You know, you can put him in a Uruguay squad. You could maybe just put him in your main squad, but is he good enough for that? I don't know. It's not the most exciting card, but it does look like a decent one. It's just a shame there's not going to be more use for him without a league change. So again, a card where there's plenty to be said for him. Quite a few positives, 1 or 2 slight negatives with a few attributes, but yeah, on the whole, it's just a decent, fairly tidy looking centre forward. Then next we have our next booster, Nicolás Otamendi. Let's boost him straight away. What's that going to be? Dueling or something? Shutdown? Dueling, there you go, got it. Face scan, of course. Destroyer centre back, not the tallest, about 6 foot tall, pretty much bang on 6 foot. Got pretty decent jumping there at 90. Unwavering form. I've had a few versions of Otamendi at this point. I've had a few player of the week cards with the booster activated. This one's probably just about the best. The best highlight versions of Otamendi have a bit more on the core defensive attributes. You often find that compared to player of the week cards, but they have considerably less pace. And if you retrain those cards to try and kind of match the pace, it's very hard to do so. So this to me looks like it might be just about the best version of Otamendi we've had, all things considered. And yeah, it's looking like a good centre-back guy. He's a destroyer. The defences, especially on A-form, are great. Even when he's not on A-form, they're all going 90 plus with the maximum game plan boost. Physical contact, I'd like to be a bit higher. To be honest, jumping at 90, I'd like that to be a bit higher on a centre-back who's only 6 foot tall. He's not going to be brilliant in the air. He has had a nice boost to his pace compared to what he normally does, so his pace is okay for a centre-back now. He's normally a bit slow. Decent enough passing for a centre-back, pretty decent. Stamina's good. What have they done skill-wise? Gamesmanship and blocker. Blocker's a good addition. So we've got heading and aerial, and we've got man marking, interception, blocker, sliding, acrobatic, anti-fighting spirit. So yeah, you've got everything you need defensively, and you got the bonus of gamesmanship. Nice. You'll win you a couple of free kicks now and then. Yeah, it's a good centre-back card, this on the whole. Just like I say, the height is the one concern for me. Defensively, not a problem. He's not great on the ball. You kind of expect that from centre-backs, especially destroyers. So the passing is decent. The pace has been boosted. That's okay. Stamina's good, but yeah, it's the aerial and physical. Physical's not a massive concern, but certainly the jumping. I know it sounds strange to say that the jumping's a concern when it's 90, but he is only 6 foot tall. So you know, again, I'm just going to quickly check in the background on eFootball. I just want to find some numbers to back up what I'm saying here. Where's he gone? There he is. Yeah, so vertical reach, even with the booster and maximum game plan boost, is only in the early 270s, so he's not got great vertical reach. It's not disastrously bad. Oh, my phone's going off. It's not disastrously bad, but if you're coming up against people with big tall strikers, they're putting crosses in the box, you're going to have issues with this guy. So that is the one big concern. Again, you can't use him in the league challenge. That's another one where, you know, in an Argentina squad could be pretty handy, and your main squad could maybe do a job, but no league challenge to use him in. And like I say, the aerially, there's a big concern with this guy, but outside of that, there's plenty of qualities, and it's arguably the best version we've had of Nicolás Otamendi. So plenty of qualities, plenty of positives with this guy, even as there's one or two significant negatives as well. So not for everyone necessarily, but there will be a fair few people who you know, be pretty pleased if they get this card. And another booster now. Sacha Boey from Bayern. Got a face scan and got a booster. Let's activate the booster. What's the booster? Acceleration, physical contact, stamina, aggression. Well, that's stealing, maybe. Hard worker, fair enough. So attacking fullback, right back. That's what he normally is. He's looking pretty tidy. We've had a few versions of Boey. We've had the Champions League Player of the Week card from when he was at Galatasaray. That Player of the Week Champions League card had a bit more pace and a bit more physical contact than this card. Also had standard form, whereas this one's only inconsistent. But apart from that, just about everywhere else, this one's better. This card is better on the whole. I've had a couple of highlights of Boey as well. They tend to have way more pace, but we're a lot better down the left column on this card, and it's very hard to match all the attributes on those highlight cards. So yeah, we've had other versions of Boey that aren't far off in the same kind of ballpark in terms of overall ability. But I think on the whole, when you look at, you know, all things considered, this to me looks like the best version we've had of him. And he's looking pretty tidy on the whole. The awareness is a bit low defensively. Doesn't look brilliant on the ball, but outside of that, everything's looking pretty good for an attacking fullback, to be honest. And then skill-wise, looking good here as well, because they've added through passing and man marking and fighting spirit. Everyone gets fighting spirit and Player of the Week, it seems. But yeah, on the whole, really good selection of skills for an attacking fullback. I think the only one we're really missing is blocker, to be honest. So yeah, one touch through, pinpoint crossing, important ones going forward, man marking, session, fighting spirit. I would say those are the most important ones that he's got. He's got a few more beyond that. Cut behind and turn, long range shooting, are they important? I'm not so sure. Long throw, yay. Sliding tackle, always helpful. People don't tend to do too many sliding tackles in the game unless they lose their heads. But yeah, you got some pretty good skills there. I think if I was going to add skills, I think maybe his block would be nice to have as well. But can't be too greedy. We've got a pretty good section of skills there on the whole for an attacking fullback. And yeah, like I say, he's looking pretty solid. He's got the pace. He's got just about everything down the right hand side, to be honest. Down the middle, again, you know, that defensive awareness, it is a bit on the low side. I'd like all these to be 80 plus, to be honest. So everywhere else is looking fine, but defensive awareness, I don't want to miss something too negative, but it is a bit on the low side. And then down the left is a nice boost compared to his GP card. A really nice boost on all these attributes down the left hand side. We have obviously lost a load of speed and stamina, as we always do, and kicking power is the lower body. That's the one thing they always nerf on these fullbacks in Player of the Week. So I've lost a bunch of points there, but I think we can afford to. All those attributes are still fine. But like I say, you know, just about everything else has been boosted really, especially down that left column. So yeah, it's a good version of Sacha Boey. Like I said, the defensive awareness is a bit of a concern. Ball control and type possession, a bit of a concern. But outside of that, all the attributes looking good. And the skills looking very good as well. Again, though, there's no league chance to use this guy in. We're also losing the Bayern license, we just found out today. It's a bit of a shame. Presumably Dortmund, they're going to replace them. But yeah, for your France squad, could be a very handy one. Could definitely do a job with your France squad. In your main squad, definitely a good card. He's a good attacking fullback. If you don't have too many, you know, beefy legends and showtimes at right back, he's certainly capable. Just, you know, like I say, 1 and 2 attributes a bit on the low side, inconsistent form, no really chance to use him in, a few slight negatives, but on the whole, I think it's a good, solid attacking right back. And next we have Fabián Ruiz. So we've had a few Fabián Ruiz cards in Player of the Week packs in recent times. I think this is comparable to the best. Pretty similar overall, but stats kind of shuffled around quite a bit, to be honest, from one to the next. Again, we've got a booster. Let's activate that booster. What do we get on the booster? Ball control, finishing, kicking power, physical. That's shooting, isn't it? Yes, we've got the shooting booster. Okay. So yeah, we've got a boost to his finishing from his GP card. So yeah, he compares quite well to his Player of the Week cards. Like I say, he's up there with the better ones overall. Compared to his highlight cards, if you compare him to his best highlight cards, he's a bit better overall. But there's not a massive difference actually when you really look at the stats. You know, his best highlight cards tend to have a bit more on their passing, but just a bit less pace and physical contact really. If you try and match everything with his best highlight cards, it's quite hard to. So this is a good version of Fabián Ruiz. Passing has been nerfed a bit from his GP card though. It's annoying. They've at least left it low enough. They're both at 87, so you can hit the 90 mark with both, but it's a bit annoying they've nerfed them slightly. Like I say, the finishing has been boosted even before the 8th one boost. We've got a boost to his physical contact. We've got a boost to his pace. That's essentially the story here. Not looking too great defensively. Would like a bit more balance. Those are the two concerns for me on the box-to-box midfielder. Apart from that, they're looking pretty good. Let's have a quick look at his skills. They've taken away Marseille turn. Some will be disappointed about that. It doesn't bother me. I don't really do that very often. We gained first time shot, of course, and fighting spirit. That's about it. So yeah, I think the skills pretty much reflect the story of his attributes. Really got quite a lot going forward, but defensively we've kind of got the bare minimum. Really got interception and fighting spirit. Defensively could do with 1 or 2 more skills, but certainly going forward when you get him on the ball, 1-touch pass, through passing, weighted pass. And his shooting as well. Long range curler, dipping shot, long range shooting, first time shot with double touch as well at the top there if you like doing any double touches. Not sure how good this guy's going to be with his double touches and his dribbling in general. He's about 6'3", 6 foot. Is he almost 6'3"? He's quite tall. He's not got amazing balance, dribbling 84. So yeah, he's not going to be an amazing dribbler by any means, but certainly the ball control and time possession are good. The passing is good. Attacking awareness and finishing are pretty decent on a midfielder. But yeah, like I say, defensively it's the bare minimum. He got a little bit of defensive ability there, but not a great deal. They have boosted his physical strength, but it's still not amazing. So as a DMF, I don't fancy this guy. As a CMF box-to-box, a bit of an all-rounder. Like I say, defensively, there is that concern. So I would make sure if you're going to play him as a CMF or any kind of midfielder, you've got at least one other midfielder, ideally 2, who are doing a lot of the defensive work for him, because you can't put too much defensive responsibility on this guy. But certainly when you get him on the ball technically, you know, with his ability to pass the ball, it's going to be very tidy indeed. And with his shooting, which will be pretty decent for a midfielder. You could also use him as an attacking midfielder without an active playing style. I think he would actually be good enough to do that, to be used that way. The attack wins are at 80, the finishing is in the high 70s when he's in A form. Tidy enough on the ball, good passing, good kicking power behind his shots as well, and those shooting skills he's got. So yeah, as an attack midfielder, he could be decent there. Could be an option there for you as well. So he's a pretty tidy card. This before I forget, he's got a face scan, of course. Again, yet another card where there's no league challenge to use him in. That is a negative. It's not the end of the world. Of course, you can still use him in your Spain squad, and of course, you can use him in your main squad. He is a strong card. This is he good enough to get in your main squad? For some people, yes. For a lot of people, probably not. I don't know. It depends on you. Depends on what you want from a midfielder. But certainly, he's got a lot of qualities. This guy, like I say, there is a concern defensively. I wouldn't use him as a DMF myself, but as a CMF or maybe even an AMF, he's definitely got plenty of ability going forward with his passing and with the boost they get into his finishing, both in terms of the attribute and the skills he's been given. So plenty to be said for this Fabián Ruiz card. We've had quite a few. He's not massively different or better compared to most of the better ones, but it's a good card. This depends how you want to use him, but if he suits you, if you can fit him into your midfield, plenty of qualities, could be a solid one to have. And next up is Jamal Musiala, also from Bayern. So, of course, he's got a face scan. He's got his usual playing style and position, attacking mid, creative playmaker. In terms of overall ability, pretty comparable to the best player of the week we've had, old Jamal Musiala. Stats kind of shuffled around a bit from one player of the week card to the next, as you'd expect. But one thing I'd say about this card, is it good? Yes, in terms of overall ability, comparing well to previous player of the weeks and highlights and so on, but it's one of the least interesting. They've not really changed much. You know, we've had a goal poacher centre forward version, we've had roaming flank, we've had whole player, and we've had versions of Musiala where they've added through passing. Not this time. That's the one skill he's always lacking, and you can't add skills to these cards. That's a big shame we've not got through passing. So yeah, is it good? Yes. Is it a particularly exciting version of Musiala? No, sadly. We've had a Showtime and I think a Legend version of Musiala, the best versions of him, that goes without saying. But like I say, compared to the better Player of the Week cards, compared to most highlight cards, to be honest, in terms of overall ability, very good, but it's just not the most exciting version. Nothing's really changed in terms of the playing style and so on. They're not giving it through passing, which they normally do. Well, they sometimes do, sorry. To be honest, when you compare it to the best highlight cards we've had of Musiala, most highlight cards really, overall rating wise, he stacks up pretty well. But when you drill into it, you look at the attributes. A lot of his better highlight cards, they're a bit better with with their on the ball attributes, a bit better with their passing. He's getting quite a bit of his rating from the fact that they boosted his defensives and his physical contact, which aren't really that important on Musiala. Yes, they'll make a bit of a difference, especially the physical contact, but it's not really what you need on him. So yeah, at first glance, you look at the overall rating, you're thinking, yeah, another good version of Musiala, tidy, but you compare it to others, you really go a bit deeper on the attributes and the skills. It's not that exciting looking to me. Compared to his GP card, what they've actually done in terms of the boost, obviously they boosted his defenses and his physicals. They always do that on attacking players, obviously. But we've lost a little bit of acceleration, lost a bit of balance as well. We've lost loads of points off his on-the-ball attributes compared to his auto-allocated GP card. We've lost a bunch of points off low pass as well. We've gained some points in attacking awareness and finishing and kicking power. And that's pretty much the gist of it, really. Skill-wise, we've lost dipping shot and gamesmanship. And we've gained long-range shooting. That's a good one. Penalty specialist. Not sure anyone's going to care about that. And interception. He's already a super sub. He's going to feel great on the ball. Soul control there. You see from the attributes, even with him nerfing him, he's going to still feel great on the ball. Long range curl, long range shooting, first time shot. So yeah, I guess it's a Musiala where you're going to be better off focusing on shooting a bit more than passing. But is that what you're going to do with a creative playmaker? I don't know. So yeah, if you really fancy a version of Musiala that's a bit stronger physically and defensively than he normally is, especially with him adding the interception skill, although they've not added fighting spirit for once on a Player of the Week card, then yeah, it could be a version of Musiala that could be very useful. I mean, obviously it could be very useful because he's good in terms of the overall ability, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, wide left or attacking midfield could be very handy. Centre mid, maybe at a stretch. I normally say I wouldn't put someone there if they're not great defensively and physically, but he is a bit better than he normally is. I still probably wouldn't use him there though, and he wouldn't have an active playing style, which will bother a lot of people. But yeah, on the whole, sure, it's a good card, but I don't think they boosted him quite the way people would want them to boost a Musiala card. I don't think this is too exciting of a card, unfortunately. Definitely some qualities there though, and they have boosted his finishing and attacking awareness. There are positives there, but yeah, good version of Musiala, yes, objectively, statistically, but I don't think it's the most exciting one. Again, no league chance to use him in. Do you do a Germany squad? Is he going to go in your main squad? Maybe. There's a fair few people who could well be very happy with this card, but like I say, when you really drill into the stats and everything, comparing it to all the other versions, I don't think it's actually that exciting a version of Musiala, unfortunately. And our last card, which is also our last booster. 5 boosters we've had. Let's just activate the booster straight away. Attacking awareness, speed, acceleration, stamina. I don't know what that is. Offense, creator. Is it off the ball? There we go. So we've got a play scan. Pedro Neto from Chelsea. Normally a right wing forward. They're changing to right midfield. Doesn't make any difference to what positions you can play him in, but they've changed his playing style. He's normally a prolific winger. They've made him a whole player. As far as I can see, every other version of him has been a prolific winger. So we've got a whole player version of him this time. You can play him down the right wing or the left wing. You can play him as a centre forward if you wanted to, but attacking awareness at 83, even when he's got the full game form boost at 83 attacking awareness, not great for me. And finishing 79, I wouldn't be looking to play this guy as a centre forward. 76 low pass, would I play him as an SS? That's iffy as well. I think for the vast majority of people, this guy is going to be a winger. And yeah, it's a good version of Neto. So change his playing style, I think, for the first time. To be honest, when you activate that booster with the booster activated, I think that makes it just about the best version we've had of Neto. You look at the previous Player of the Week cards, and also a Player of the Season card from last season. I think that was last season, not this season. Yeah, last season. And also a few highlight cards that we've had of his. I don't think any of them quite match this one when he's fully boosted. There are some that are a little bit better with their dribbling. Maybe he's a bit more pace, maybe a little bit more balance. But on the whole, this one to me does look like it's the best version of Neto. Compared to his GP card, again, we've had some weird nerfs here. So compared to his GP card, we've lost a bunch of points off his acceleration. We get some of them back when he's on A form, which is nice. We've also lost a couple of points of his attacking awareness, but we get all of those back with the A form boost. Yay, that's generous. Lost 1 point off dribbling. What is the point of that? Dribbling's still great though, that's fine. We've lost 2 points off balance, but the balance is still great. Nice boost to his tight possession, nice boost to his end product, nice boost to his stamina, and yep, you guessed it, nice boost to his defending and his physical strength. Yeah, but on the whole, this is a good version of Neto. This is a really good version of Neto. He's got the pace, he's got the balance, he's good on the ball, he's got a bit of end product, he's got good attacking awareness with that whole player playing style. That playing style will be active right mid, left mid, or SS if you choose to play him there. So yeah, especially coming off the wing, I would say right midfield as a left foot. So coming off the right wing, right midfield with the whole player playing style active, getting into some good positions. It's got a bit of end product. It could be pretty handy. It's going to feel nice on the ball. What have they done skill wise with Neto? Taking away Scissors, Feint, and Rabona. I think we can live without those two. We've gained double touch. So ball roll double touch alert. There you go. Double touch fit for up soul control. Through passing, nice. Pinpoint crossing and fighting spirit. Okay. He's already got long range curler, so looks like it could be usable on both wings, to be honest. I think he's definitely going to be better on the right wing, coming inside onto his left foot with the whole player playing style, with the long range curler skill. He's going to feel nice on the ball. The double touch is going to be very pleased about the ball roll double touch. Yeah, I think off the right wing is going to be very handy. Low pass is not great at 76, but through passing will help when he's playing through passes. Lofted 80, not a lot of curl, decent kicking power. Would you play him on the left? I'm not sure his crossing is going to be great. It's going to be okay, but I don't know. If you're really desperate in any given week for a left foot on the left hand side, he can put some crosses in. Yeah, he could do a job for you for sure. He's got plenty of qualities, but would I say crossing is one of his qualities? No, it's not going to be bad, but it's not going to be particularly good either. But so I think coming off the right wing is going to be where he's going to be best as an inverted winger, especially with long range curler and the finishing is going over 80. He'll have a decent long range curler on him. He's going to feel very nice in the ball. He's got a fairly low centre of gravity as well. A little bit of physical strength there with a bit of a boost there, but certainly with the balance, the pace, the on the ball attributes, I think this guy can be pretty tidy as a winger, primarily off the right wing. Like I say, through the middle, centre forward, he's not quite got the finishing especially, and the attacking awareness as well is not overly great. As an SS with the whole player playing style active, if you're focusing mainly on getting into good attacking positions to get shots away, yeah, it could be pretty handy, but even with through passing 76 low pass, that puts me off as an SS. I wouldn't be too comfortable doing that, but you could do that at a stretch. So you've got a few ways you could use this guy, but I think primarily off the right wing. This is like a very, very nice version of Pedro Neto for me. Right wing forward with an active playing style could definitely do a job. Right midfield as a whole player, I think could be very handy, especially for the English League Challenge. You've got one you can use in the League Challenge, which is great. Or your Portugal squad, or your main squad. I think it's a pretty handy card. This is one of the picks in the pack. And yeah, I think it's, like I say, it looks like it's just about the best version we've had of Pedro Neto. So this is one of the best cards in the pack for me. I think it looks like a pretty handy one. So there's your first Club World Cup Player of the Week pack. I think it's a reasonably interesting one. I think I've got a few cards in there that are a little bit rare, you know. Paula, Mayulu, Piquerez. We had a bunch of cards in here that we don't tend to see very often, which is great. That's one thing I've been hoping for. We've been talking, especially on stream and in Discord, about the Club World Cup, and we've been hoping for some Club World Cup content. Largely because there are a bunch of teams and players we don't often see in packs and stuff. So yeah, I think there's some interesting ones in there. And in terms of the quality of the pack, I mean, even the 4-star is decent, but the height he's got, he's going to be good in the air, that guy. I actually quite fancy him for my Brazilian League squad. Marcano, solid centre-back. Ustari, not the best physical profile, but good stats. He's a solid keeper. Piquerez, I think primarily as a left-back rather than a left midfielder, could be a handy one. Mayulu, I'm not too sure. Some might find him pretty handy. He might feel pretty nice in the ball, I'm not sure, but he doesn't overly excite me. He doesn't like the best cards. I mean, looking at the ratings, you know, 92 is only just a 5-star. You've got 1 4-star, and you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 92. So in terms of the overall ratings, yeah, it's not looking like a brilliant pack, but just from looking through the players just now and looking at all the stats, I think it's decent enough. There's a few decent ones in there. Like I say, these two centre backs are very usable. The goalie likewise. Piquerez, for some people, could be a pretty decent left back. Mayulu, like I say, some people might like him, but I'm not sure he's the best. I think, to be honest, Mayulu is the one that I would want least out of this pack. But Merentiel, I'd like a bit more on 1 or 2 attributes, but he looks like a tidy centre forward. Otamendi, aerial ability is the one big concern, but outside of that, loads of good attributes. That's a really good version of Otamendi. Sacha Boey, solid right back. Fabián Ruiz, solid midfielder. Not the most exciting version of Musiala, but just looking at the stats, looking at the numbers, it is objectively a good version of him. And then Pedro Neto, for me, I think that's probably the pick of the pack, because that's a really good card. But it's one of the few cards in this pack you can actually use in the League Challenge. Looking at the rest of them, I think the only other cards in this pack you can use in any League Challenge are the two Brazilian League players, and that's it. And most people don't get to do the Brazilian League challenge, so that was always going to be a negative with cards from the Club World Cup. There are a lot of teams that aren't in the leagues that we got league challenges for. Some of us or all of us. So yeah, that's the negative, the lack of league challenge for a lot of these cards. But there are some decent ones in there. Like I say, I think Neto's probably the best of the pack, but there are some other decent ones in there, very decent ones. And like I say, even that 4-star centre back is massive. It's going to be good in the air. So yeah, it's not the worst pack. I think the fact that the overall quality is maybe not that great is compensated for slightly by the fact that some of these cards are a little bit rare. So on the whole, yeah, amazing pack, no, but a decent enough one, yeah, I would say so. So yeah, there you go. Let me know what you think of the pack. I'll be interested to know your thoughts. Let me know who you get from your free spin. I'm going to try and do a stream later on today. I'll do my free spin then and pick up some Showtime players on some of my accounts. And I'll do a review of the, what's it called? National, international, rest of the world pack thing. Where is it? I'll just browse my way all the way. There we go. Worldwide national team selection, this one. So some decent ones in there. I'll do a separate review of this one at some point. I'll try and get that done probably over the weekend. So that review will be coming up as well. So keep your eyes out for that. Keep your eyes out for 1-2 streams over the weekend as well. So yeah, there you go. Hopefully the video has helped you to make your decisions about whether to spin as Player of the Week pack. Hope you found it useful. Thank you for watching as always, and take it easy. I'll see you next time.